What do you make about this? What could be then a change in priorities?
Yeah, it was a commitment made by this government to the world and the poorer countries of the world where climate change is going to impact more greatly. I don't know. I mean, you just said that it's almost like flag waving. See what the reaction is. One of those situations. So it isn't quite cut and dried yet whether they actually take away the direct climate change money. I think it's about 11 billion. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's about where it is. And as a scientist, I think this is the wrong direction of travel. I think this is, look, Stephen, and we've seen this week some startling figures across the world. I'll just give you a couple. So we know that in the UK, June saw its hottest, or we can call it warmest ever June in the UK. That happened. It also happened globally when all the figures came in. So globally, it's been the hottest June ever. That's everybody added up, everything from Antarctica all the way through the equator, left, right, and centre. We've seen we've seen the Canadian fires. We saw a huge storm that affected, I think, was climate change affected in Holland this week that killed a couple of people. I'll give you a little facts as well. Africa yesterday saw its highest minimum temperature ever, a place called Adrar in Algeria. Seems a long way away, but 39.6 degrees Celsius as a minimum temperature is what occurred yesterday. So Africa's highest minimum temperature. So you can see the clock is ticking.
Do you worry that because we're all worried now about the economy, we're worried about how we're going to pay our mortgages, that actually that trend is going to reverse the trend where we were beginning to really get, even the deniers were beginning to get the idea of climate change? Do you worry that that's actually reversing and we're going to become a nation of climate change deniers again?
Yeah, it's a very good point, Anne. Look, I come on your programme, not so much, I say, GB News and other stations, and I have discussions, can we say, with climate deniers. They're still out there. They are a fringe, can make that absolutely clear. And I don't want to use the wrong words here, but misinformation should be stopped, because that's exactly what it is. The scientific community, all the way from NASA, NOAA, the World Meteorological Organization, right through to the Hadley Centre, the Met Office, they're all at one. And the IPCC saw this and put their messages out at the last COP to say exactly what is going on. And now we can see it in its rawest form. I really actually believe we're at a tipping point. So the denying side, I think, is for different reasons, often for quite selfish reasons, maybe financial reasons that they say what they say. But it's a discussion that should be had. Am I worried? Yeah, I think you've got to have a concern. Worry is probably a bit too strong, but I think we have to have a concern that the siren voices are very loud and that they're out there. And my community, the scientific community, and I think most of the population understand what's going on and that we have to do things about this, albeit in an evolutionary way rather than a revolution. I think we're a bit late for the revolution. I think the war's already started, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I suppose the issue is, and obviously the government's denying this at the moment, and we don't know what exactly would happen to the money if it wasn't used for this, but it's just shy of £12 billion. Well, it's a drop in the ocean when it comes to the international, the global look at climate change, but actually could have a significant impact back here at home at the moment. I mean, that's the argument, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a fair argument to have. This is the sort of discussion that should be being had. You know, it's money coming from the UK, but we've made that promise. The world has, you know, the development world has made similar promises, and I'm not sure they're negating on it. But I think you call it being stuck between a rock and a hard place, don't you? That's about where we are with this, given the economic malaise that we've got in this country, caused primarily by the same government that are making this decision now. So, yeah, it's a toughie. I'm not, you know, it's not for me to run away from it or to walk towards it, but it's other people will make those decisions. But all I would say, from my standpoint as a meteorologist for the last 40 years, that this is much wanted. And if we don't donate this, if we don't put this money across, then what's going to happen? Those countries that are most at need are going to struggle into the future in terms of their infrastructure, combating climate change, and when it does happen, recovering from it. And then you've got the situation, if there's no food, no water, for example, in drought situations, that the pressures on migration become that much higher. So it's a long piece of string rather than a short one.